A couple weeks ago, I shared that 420 was a super lucky day that kind of started a 2-week cycle where we will receive more blessings and luck into our lives. If you haven't had a chance to listen to that episode, go check it out. It is why 420 is a lucky day. Specifically, the astrological transit is Jupiter conjunct Uranus in Taurus. And so, one of the things that actually happened to me on 420, it's not always just like lucky things will happen to you on that day. You might get an idea that really expands your blessings and your luck. And for me, I had the idea and I like put two and two together in terms of astrology and parenting. So I made a promise to myself at the end of January that I would post more on social media, specifically TikTok. And most of the content that I share on TikTok will go on Instagram as well. But some of the things perform obviously better on one platform versus the other. And one of the things that has surprisingly taken off um, is my year of the dragon predictions for the collective, but also for people who are having babies during the year of the dragon. So I will combine like, oh, so you're having a baby during Aries season. What does that mean to have an Aries baby in the year of the dragon? And I'm just really blown away by how many comments and shares and likes that people have done for these videos. And I think one of the most beautiful things is people sharing, like, oh, like my due date is X day. Like I've been trying to have a baby for so long. And it's as the creator of the content, it really brings me a lot of joy to see people connecting and feeling happy and celebrating welcoming a child into the world. And so the idea on 420 came to me of like, oh, why don't I introduce an astrology parenting guide? Very similar to the expanded career astrology report, but I focus on a couple different things. And it's also shorter as well. So I focus on the personality of the child. So that's a sun sign. How to support their needs and their self care language. That's their moon placement. How they see the world. That's the rising sign. Also, their version of reality. And then the final thing I share is characteristics to foster, which I'm using the North Node to provide insights. So ultimately, whether you are someone who will be having a child this year, or your child is 10 years old or 15 years old, it is going to be a very beautiful resource to just help you understand the perspective of your child. Specifically, when we're looking at the personality, to share more details, I'll be focused on so what is their personality like? What lights them up to bring them joy and how they shine the most. And one of the key differences of this astrology parenting guide versus the expanded career astrology report, obviously, I don't share very explicit guidance around career. Instead, I give actionable insights and steps to take to help foster a closer relationship with your child, as well as just meeting their needs and kind of even kind of just like what's the right phrase? Like not predicting, but just being like, oh, I think they're gonna know they're gonna need this, so let me provide this for them. And I think one of the most helpful things will be the second section about the moon sign. So, like, what are their needs? How do they process emotions? And what do they need to self-soothe when facing stress and challenges? Now, with the third part, like how they see the world, I'll be sharing, like, okay, so what is their view of the world, their version of reality, and how do others see them in first impressions? Oftentimes, when we are younger, like elementary school or even preschool, like I viscerally remember for myself, I'm like, why, like people think of me in this way, but I think of myself in a different way, or I feel like the world operates this way, but my teacher or like my peer, my friend thinks of it in a different way. And understanding their different perspective will allow you to be able to bridge any gaps in that reality. Because I like to say that everyone is experiencing a different reality, and we come together with people who are our friends or colleagues, people in our community, because our realities overlap with each other. And then this last part, characteristics to foster. Um, what lessons will they learn in their life, skills and lessons that allow them to grow, and potential paths of purpose and ideal jobs. So the actionable insights will be, oh, these are some hobbies you can sign up. Um, like you can sign up for them. These are some classes. These are some books, some movies, some shows that you can introduce them to. I think that it is going to be such a helpful tool. And I'll share an example now. So let's say your child is a Gemini sun. That means their personality is going to be very bubbly. They need a lot of intellectual stimulation. So, giving them books, reading to them, often playing music in the background, is going to be really helpful. And as they get older, like podcasts and movies, and giving them an outlet to share all their ideas. So, like a journal will be really helpful. Maybe they have like their own voice notes app. They can record kind of like their daily thoughts. And then let's say an example is a Aries moon. That means that they always need to be moving and they need to have a creative outlet. And they process emotions sometimes like knee-jerk way, kind of like immediately kind of reacting to something. And like to self-soothe when they're facing stress and challenges. Again, they need to do something creative. They need to find like a channel to direct some of their frustration from some of their anger, and exercising, running, expending that energy through creative outlet or exercising is going to be super helpful for them. And then how they see the world. Let's say that they are a Pisces rising. That means they see the world as a place that, they move through it in a bit more relaxed way. They see it through the lens of like beauty and art and imagination. Like everything has a story, and it's very feeling based how they move through the world. And other people may see them kind of like very dreamy and very imaginative, very head in the clouds. But because they have an Aries moon and a Gemini sun, these are quite different from their Pisces rising. And so there might be kind of uh not miscommunication, but some people might be like, oh, like they seemed really dreamy, but they actually are very action oriented, very focused on getting things done, and that makes them feel very safe. And that's how they self-soothe, by taking action. That's that Aries moon, and they're super social. They love chatting, they love connecting with other people. That's the Gemini sun. And then the last thing, let's say that their North Node is in Libra. With a North Node in Libra, they are meant to be learning in this lifetime that partnerships, that friendships are important, that will help them get to where they want to go faster. It is very easy for them to um, do things on their own, to be very, very self-reliant. So that's something that you can watch out for, to be hyper vigilant of like, oh, like they may not ask for help. So let me just kind of tag along with them, or say, hey, I can give you support in this way, as well as like helping them to understand but that relationships, friendships are really important through modeling. You can do that as a parent by, kind of like having regular get-togethers with your friends, or as a community. And these are some of the ways that you can help really your child grow. So those are just some quick examples to share, how you use astrology to parent and to understand your child better, and also a sneak peek of the astrology parenting guide. It is currently 50% off right now for the next 2 weeks. Check out the link in the show notes and let me know what questions you have. And stay tuned for, what other blessings are entering your life this next week or so, because we're still in that very lucky energy. And as always, I want to hear about what things are happening in your life, how you resonated with this episode and other episodes, and I will see you next week.